What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always. Spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about: football, basketball, and boxing. Let's get into it. It's been a hot topic going on lately between Cam Newton and Brock Purdy. Really, it's more about Cam Newton, in my opinion. He made a comment on his podcast about the fact that he considered certain quarterbacks in the NFL game managers as opposed to game changers. This caused a lot of controversy. It's a lightning bolt topic. And Kimberly Martin on ESPN at one point made some comments that, for some reason, sparked even more controversy, it seemed. And I haven't seen her around lately on ESPN, so hopefully they get her back because I like Kimberly Martin as well. But I do notice whenever Cam makes these comments, it causes a lot of people to throw hate his way. He said that he considered Brock Purdy a game manager, not a game changer. He included Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa as well as game managers. And now that the 49ers are in the Super Bowl, people were asking, now is Brock Purdy just a game manager? And Cam Newton responded. And he said, yes, he still is a game manager. Kudos to him making it to the Super Bowl. But he said he didn't consider him a game changer. His definition of game changer is that you're the best player on your team from a quarterback standpoint. Or not just the best player from a quarter, like the best player, period, on the team. On the offensive side of the ball, at least, is what he said, if I remember correctly. And he said, in his opinion, Brock Purdy isn't even top 10 when you look at both sides of the ball on his team. He's not a top 10 player, or maybe he's just the 10th best player. Now, I don't completely agree with Cam on his ranking on the team. I might put him a little higher than number 10, but I don't think he's a top 5 player on the team. And I think people get caught up because there is some hate that goes Cam's way. He is a unique individual in the way he presents himself at times. He's very confident in himself, as he should be. He was a top pick in the NFL. He was big time in college, big time in the pros. People get on him now. I see comments when he makes that comment about Brock Purdy. People say, well, he lost his job in the NFL to Mac Jones. He hasn't been able to get a starting spot in the NFL. That's very true. Not even a backup job at the moment, it seems. That has nothing to do with his opinion. Is Cam qualified to make these statements? Of course. He was an NFL player, but more importantly, he was a star player. I saw one comment, somebody said Brock Purdy was on pace to have a better season than Cam Newton ever had. Depends on how you value your season, especially from an individual standpoint. Even if Brock were to win this Super Bowl, Cam Newton was the league MVP the league MVP for the season, the year he went to the Super Bowl. He got a team to the Super Bowl with less talent around it than the one Purdy's playing on now, based on the fact that he was the league MVP. Yeah, they came up short. No, he never won league MVP after that. But most quarterbacks in their career don't win league MVP, just like it's hard to win Super Bowl. And it's probably harder to win league MVP because you can be part of a great team and win NFL championship and it not be solely because of you at the quarterback. But to win league MVP, it is a quarterback award, so it's harder for other positions. But even at the quarterback position, that's a select few. So I think what we get caught up in is game manager. Let's just say Brock Purdy, he's not a great quarterback. He's good. We should give him his props. He led the NFL in passer rating this year. He was in the MVP conversation at one point. That being said, maybe Christian McCaffrey should have got more looks at that than him, and I think he was a finalist. Christian McCaffrey's probably the best player on their team. unless you're looking at the defense. Bosa's a beast too. But all that being said, Brock Purdy is still one of the best players on the team. He makes winning plays, and we get on him a little too hard at times, calling him Mr. Irrelevant. The man was picked in the NFL draft. Forget the fact that he was the last player in the draft. Yes, he was a 7th round pick. Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. Joe Flacco, I think he was drafted maybe in the 4th round. I know Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round. You've had guys who were what would be considered your game manager, not great quarterback, but good enough. Like he talked about Tua Tagovailoa, but let's talk about Nick Foles. He won a championship. Joe Flacco, he won a championship. Trent Dilfer, he won a championship. Leading the team from the quarterback position, but not the best players on their team. That's okay, and it's okay if Purdy gets it done too. And even if he doesn't, he's a legit starting quarterback. The Mr. Irrelevant probably put a real spark plug in his back, and I'm rooting for him because I think he's got time to be great. Let's not forget it's year 2 for Brock Purdy. In year 2, he's in the Super Bowl, and some of that has to do with his play. Kudos to Purdy for being there, but let's not get too hard on Cam Newton for calling him a game manager. Let's think about what he's talking about. Purdy isn't probably a top 10 quarterback in the league right now, and for sure he's not top 5. When he's talking about game changers, he's talking about your Josh Allens, your Justin Herberts, your Joe Burrows, your Lamar Jacksons, those type of guys. Even a Jalen Hurts, who had a little bit of a down year, but we saw what he did last year, and he's still one of your top 10 quarterbacks. And let's not even talk about Patrick. He's another subject. But Purdy's not that, but he's great. But Cam was great too, so let's not hate on Cam for having an opinion, because his opinion has some validation in it. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is, and you know who you're looking for. J Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or get at me in the comments. Let's go back and forth. Let's talk about it. You can find me at YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And if you're on Facebook, join my group, J Heat Sports Media.